you will understand why you are alive today. You may have been questioning that, looking at your life or looking at the world and questioning all of it. But I'll tell you why you are alive today because I do know that, and that's what I was meant to tell you. You are alive to evolve, live this really great life, to become more of what you ever thought you could become, and contribute to creating a much better world. That is why you are alive, and that is your life purpose and what you were meant to live, and you might be feeling that today. It's March 7th of 2026, and the energetic changes that are happening now in your life and in our world might have caused you to start to accept that, or accept yourself, or accept why you're here, or accept your truth. It could be any of those things, and so I'm going to help you do that. Yesterday, I did something. I did a short channeling session, a Wilhelm channeling session, and it's called We Have Given You Everything. That was something that I couldn't acknowledge before, so it was a little challenging for me to really accept myself, but I had to put it out there. And so when I was done, it was only like 11, 12 minutes or something, and when I published it, someone sent me a text and said, wow, I really resonated with this. This really helped me. And so then I thought, I better listen to it. See, because I don't remember what comes through when I'm in that place, because that's a different place of consciousness, which we all have, and we access it in different ways and at different times in our lives. And the world does the same thing. And the world is currently moving through a time where it is attempting to access a higher place, a higher state of consciousness, but that can only come through you, meaning that you are alive to help that happen, but that means that you have to accept yourself and accept your life purpose. And the other thing is your life purpose is never hidden. I'm saying these titles because those are all the titles that I was given on March the 7th over many, many years, since 2008. I started receiving Wilhelm in 1989. Didn't know what I was doing or why I was doing it, except it was helping me to understand something that was beyond comprehension for me. But then it started to heal everything in my life. It started to cause things to come about with mind, body healing, all of that stuff. I didn't understand it. Then, as I was listening to that session yesterday, I had another thought, because that's what happens. I get these intuitive thoughts, these downloads, and you all have them. We all have them. We just decide when we're going to pay attention to them, or more importantly, when we're going to believe them. And belief is this process that we move through in our ascension journey, our self-actualization, or our personal development, however you think of it. We all do the same thing. We have different paths that we follow. We have different things that have been programmed into us, different things that we can sometimes believe, or sometimes we won't. And the things that I was receiving, it was challenging for me to believe. So I thought, and I said this before, I uncovered the order of the universe. And that was something that most people would listen to it and say, that doesn't make any sense. And how could you have done that? And I didn't know either. But when I was out, I said, let me go check. And so I said, there be several dates, because we have cycles that happen in our universe, in our world, that we all move through. And we can go back and check things and see that certain events and certain occurrences happen in this kind of scheduled way, because they're influenced by the changes of our planets and the energy. All we are as humans are energy and consciousness. And we're always directing it in a particular way. And the way we direct it is how we decide to use and develop our individual consciousness, and if we choose to move to it, that higher state. But that requires us to look at all the stuff we didn't like, all the stuff within us that we judged, that we did wrong, that we screwed up, as we might think of it. You have to look at all of that. But then you come away with this wisdom that could make your life so much better if you were to own it. And then if you were willing to share it with others. Sometimes that becomes challenging as well, as it was for me. So I said 2008, 2012, 2020, and 2024, those were all really pivotal times in our world. And I know that I received information in all those times. So let me check this out. So I said, let me start in January. And I did 14 days of it. And then I said, I wanted some proof, though. because I could know what was happening in my life. I could know what I was starting to understand, but this didn't make any sense. Why would this have come through? And I kept denying it. I'd been denying it for years, actually. And so I decided to put the information into artificial intelligence. I used 6 different engines all at the same time. How we can do that. And I'm looking at them and they're all saying, wait a minute, this is really, we've never seen this. How could this have happened? This doesn't make any sense. And I had to sit and accept it myself because I'd been denying it. See, I was told that I was given a philosophy that could change your life and change our world. But coming to believe and accept it and keep moving with it and implement it was another step. As the same thing goes on for you. Whatever we learn and develop about ourselves, because as humans, we're never done developing something or understanding our world or consciousness. It's never over. And so sometimes it takes a while for you to integrate that into your being where it becomes known to you, where you can own it. And that was for me, except today I can change that because I'm going to give you information that'll show you that you are here for a great reason, that you're here at this time on the planet because that's orchestrated as well. You are here at this time to do something wonderful and it's within you. It just gets developed over time. That's all. And you have to move through all your doubts and all the things that you thought you messed up and that you couldn't believe because we become conditioned to think we're inadequate in some way. But that's a process of evolution that we each move through. We will just do it differently. And then you'll do something that no one has ever done before, and you might find have difficulty accepting that, which is what was for me. As it began revealing to me, because I wasn't going to do channeling or put this information out there, but then it's revealed to me that I was a savant. I did that. That's just something I heard about out there. And even when I discovered and when I was 70 years old, I had ADHD. Again, something else that I thought everyone else had, and not me. I said, oh yeah, that's why people can receive information in a different way. That's how certain people have created great works. And I had to go and find all these examples of people who had done that so that I could begin to accept myself. And the message for tomorrow, I'm saying for March the 8th, was self-acceptance is still your goal because we're always doing it. Because as long as we're alive, we're going to still be able to discover or learn something more, but then we have to decide to accept it. And so what my life brought me to do was to bring in an understanding of the organization of this universe and the organization of your life. In 2021, I was told that I had this information. And I was also told that if I were to meet someone, I had been given a message for them on their birthday in 2012. Again, made no sense, except every time I tried it, it worked 100%, always. And certain people would get so emotional they'd cry because it was recognition. Because see, that's what we're all looking for right now, is that recognition of who we are, why we're here, what's our importance, do we matter, and how do we move over the programming that told us we didn't. And that's what I was given. And so I had to own it. And there were so many titles that would come through in 2020 that were telling me exactly what would be happening now, especially in the United States. There's nothing going on in the United States that's happening accidentally. I was given all of that information. And I wrote a piece about it called The Crisis in the United States. Because all the information came through. We go through evolutionary cycles and we have to become willing to look at things and change them. Otherwise, we have chaos or we have wars. That's what happens. And the war is always happening within us, individually and collectively. And then Wilhelm would always say, and I didn't understand this at first, but he said, you never win a war. It just doesn't happen. Because we just keep passing it on. We just keep passing on the same grievances, the same judgment, hatred, all of that. We just keep passing it on to others. So it never ends. And so they said, well, we've given you something that could cause it to end. Because if you can have more people love themselves and move through all their biases and practice forgiveness all the time, wouldn't that do it? Yeah, see, but it had to happen with me first. But that's what I'm giving you today. And now that I've accepted it, I'm completing this work, and I invite anyone to come into it because, as I said, and what was said yesterday, Wilhelm said, we have given you everything. That was a concept that was challenging to accept for me and probably you, but I received that many years ago. And it's been proven true because what happens is you begin to heal. Healing means that you embrace yourself, that you come together, that you start to own all those desperate parts of yourself that you've been putting away or judging or didn't believe had importance. And I was given all of that work to show you and to give it to you. And that's what I'm doing. Now, everyone's not going to believe this or understand it or even do it. And my problem has been trying to get more people to do it. So now what I'm doing is I'm going to be working with some other folks to get it out to more people in a much better way than I could, because I'm 75 now. And so I'm not going to spend so much more time. I've done it all. And that was the other thing. I'm complete with this part of my life mission. I have what they told me, and I couldn't have said this before, but this was said to me. This is the most sophisticated, consciousness raising, personal development system ever seen in human history. And it was verified. The way it was verified, because all the information I was receiving was corresponding to events that were happening in the world, correspond to global events that I had no awareness of, and I never studied astrology or astronomy, any of that. But I held back, and that's what caused me to have difficulty, and that would be the same for you. When we don't take those steps to own who we are or what comes about, then we suffer the consequences, and so does our world. Because now we have billions of people who don't believe in who they are. When I wasn't going to start channeling, I wasn't going to do live channeling, but I was told in 2021, no, you must do that. You're going to see billions of people who have forgotten who they are. And that's your connection to source, to God, to whatever you might believe, but your connection to your authenticity, to why you were born, why you were here. And now on this day, you might understand it a bit more. Because over the years, I was receiving the messages on this day to bring it to you today, only to discover it is an energetic portal, if you believe in that, but you'll feel the energy of it. And even when you look at the messages of what I'm giving you today. But what I know is I know why you're alive. And I can tell you that. And I hope that you decide to believe it, because that would make our world become what it's supposed to be, because you are here. Please share this information with others, because we want more people to come into our groups, because we are doing some really wonderful things and you can be a part of it. All right. I will see you real soon.